Hi guys, thank you very much for joining me. My name is Tom and I'm the Tech Chap, and this is my unboxing and first impressions video for the new Dell XPS 13 ultra portable laptop. This is the 9350 model, which is the Skylake upgrade to the original XPS 13, which came out at the beginning of 2015. So this is November the 4th, this has just arrived today. I've taken it out of the brown box it came in, and so now I'm very much looking forward to taking the top off and seeing what the new Dell XPS 13 looks like. I've been looking forward to using one of these for a long time. I never got my hands on one of the original ones when it came out, as I say, at the beginning of the year, but I'm very pleased to get my hands on this Skylake version now. And picking it up, actually my first impressions of just picking up is it's a little heavier than I actually thought it might be. I've actually sold my MacBook Pro 15-inch because I felt that was a bit too big for me in terms of having a travel laptop in favour of buying this. And actually, although this does only weigh, I think, 1.27 kilograms, so about 2.7 pounds, it's actually surprisingly dense holding it for the first time, but maybe that's something I'll get used to once it's open. So let's put the box to one side. As you can see, there's a quick start guide there. So this is the Dell XPS 13 9350, as I say. This is the 13.3-inch 1080p non-touch model. It's the i5 6200U, 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. This cost me about 950 quid, or in American, that's about I think they sell it for about $1,000 over there. It's we get ripped off a little bit here, but let's take this plastic off and have a look at the device and the screen itself. So we can see the XPS branding there on the bottom. This is Dell's top-end line of ultrabooks and laptops. There we go. So this is the first time I've used one of these, first time I've opened one of these, and I know we can look forward to the InfinityEdge display, which, if you don't know what that is, you'll see in about 3 seconds. If I can actually find the front of it. I'm being a bit dense, I think. Okay, there's no under thing here you can get your finger in to pull it up. So you can see that because it's so lightweight, because of the weight distribution, you're going to have to probably use two hands to open the lid, one to hold the base down, one to open the screen itself. But let's do that like so. And there we have it. And as you can see, I know the light is reflecting in the screen, but that's the XPS, that's the InfinityEdge display. Basically, it's almost a bezel-less screen, which means you can get this 13-inch laptop in a 11-inch body. It's about 5mm side bezels and top bezel, the slightly bigger one at the bottom. So if I pull the camera out a bit to get a better view of the laptop overall, so picking this up for the first time, you really do get a sense that this is a very premium laptop, or should I say ultra portable. The thickest point here is at 15mm, the thinnest is at 9, so it's very thin, and it still feels quite light as well at about 1.27 kilograms. It's really nice to hold in the hand. It's a metal body chassis with a carbon fiber effect, palm rest and glass trackpad. There's a nice chiclet style keyboard. It's backlit as well, which I'll show you once I turn this on. Let's have a quick look at the ports before we turn it on. On the left side we have the power port. We have a Thunderbolt 3, which also supports USB 3.1, which replaces the mini display port which was here on the earlier XPS 13. We also have a full-size USB 3, a 3.5mm jack, one speaker, and on the other side we have another speaker alongside a SD card reader, another full-size USB 3 port, and a Kensington lock slot. So pretty good for an ultra portable. Definitely more ports than, say, the Surface Book Pro, the new Surface Book, or even the MacBook Air. So I've just taken this out of the box, and I think this is probably one of the smallest and lightest power adapters for a laptop I've ever used. So that's really a big plus if you're going to be putting this in a backpack or a case. The power packs always add a bit of extra weight, so this being so thin and so light, and you can easily wrap the cables around it like that. It's very convenient and really goes well with the travel sort of lightweight aspect of the laptop itself. I've just finished going through the setup process for logging into my Microsoft account and registering for Dell services, etc. So here we are on the desktop. It really does show off how thin these bezels are. In fact, if I change the background for it to make it a bit brighter, I think you'll see how the screen basically takes up, the display itself takes up, you know, the entire screen. It is very futuristic looking, having these very thin bezels, and most importantly, it does mean the whole laptop can be smaller and more compact. This is the Full HD 1920 by 1080 version. It's non-touch. You can get a high resolution 3800 by 1800 touchscreen version, which is more expensive and does take a toll on the battery life, and also comes with a glossy screen, whereas this is matte, which means we're not getting any reflections in here at all. This is the second from bottom option here in the UK, and is actually the model I would recommend, because the lower one has an i3 and has half the RAM and half the storage. Of course, you can also get a larger XPS 15, which can come with a high-res screen, touchscreen, up to 16 gigabytes of RAM, and also obviously is a lot larger. Other things to note are the backlit keyboard. It has two lighting settings as well as off. We have a fairly large but quite narrow, I'd say quite narrow trackpad. It's glass. It feels a lot like a MacBook Pros or MacBook Airs. It's very similar in that glass feel, and quite a couple of reassuring clicks there. Generally, first impressions are I'm very impressed with this. It's so small. Looks like a proper laptop. The chiclet keyboard feels nice to write on. Let me do a quick writing test of that. Let's open up. Have we got anything installed? Not really. Let's open a WordPad and have a quick test. The quick brown fox jumped over the, I forget how it goes, lazy goat. Why not? That was pretty good. That's the first time I've used the keyboard, and so I'd say it's pretty comfortable to write on. There's a decent amount of travel, despite it being so thin, which is quite rare and something you often do get a trade-off in terms of the keyboard quality when you do get much thinner laptops. One thing I'm noticing straight away is that this screen brightness is actually maxed out, and it doesn't really appear that bright. I'm sitting in quite a dark room with one light behind it, but as you can see, maybe it's coming across on the film, it's not the brightest in the world, and that's something I'll definitely look at more in the full review. So this should be a fair bit more powerful and have a fair bit better battery life than the previous XPS 13. One, thanks to its slightly bigger battery. This has got a 56 watt-hour battery inside as opposed to 52 on the earlier model, and also the Skylake chip from Intel is supposed to be a lot more efficient while also being more powerful, so we should get a little bit better battery life out of it. So this is just my first impressions and unboxing. I will of course give you guys a full review of this from performance, battery life, screen, usability, typing experience, and everything, so you can look forward to that coming in a few days, maybe next week, because I will spend a little bit of time with this, get to know it properly, and make sure I get you guys a proper, full and accurate review. So I'll take the plug out and we'll have a quick look around the laptop one more time before I sign off. But as you can see, this is a very, very thin and light ultrabook. It's possibly one of the nicest laptops I've ever used, and really does give the MacBook Air and the new Surface Book a run for their money. It feels nice in the hand. This is very premium feeling. Generally, this carbon fiber, metal overall, decent selection of ports, beautiful display. It is only 1080p, it's non-touch, but it is IPS, so although it's not really coming across there, the viewing angles should be pretty good. If we close it up, it's very compact overall, very light. You could chuck that in a backpack and you'd barely know it was there. And with the power inside, with the new i5 Skylake chip, it should be pretty powerful as well. I wouldn't get to say that you could do any proper gaming on it, but for some video editing, for office work, this should be a pretty sweet laptop to have. So thank you very much for watching. This has been my unboxing and first impressions, if I can say it right, first impressions of the new Dell XPS 13 9350, which is the late 2015 revision of the earlier model, which came out in the beginning of 2015. Thank you very much for watching, and do stay tuned and do subscribe to the Tech Chap for the full review of this and much more coming very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.